I finally got the wheel on episode 93.
Welcome to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Ultimate Deck Podcast. Helping you keep your finger firmly pressed on the decking industry, the people in it, and the information you need to master the backyard. And now, host of the Ultimate Deck Podcast,
Wade Laurent is the host of this one today. All right, so here we are, episode 93. Shane is gone to the mountains.
He's gone.
He's having an awesome holiday vacation. That's a Canadian-U.S. thing as well, right? Holiday and vacation?
Yeah.
So Shane's having a great vacation. I can tell because he posts every picture he's taken since he left.
Yeah. And he takes a lot of pictures.
Holy smokes.
Videos, pictures.
It's so good. I hope he catches the travel bug so bad when he gets back.
So he's gone for 14 days?
No, I just like the guy needs to take more vacation time.
Okay. That's that kind of travel bug, not
right? Yeah. No,
COVID.
No, not the COVID bug. Nobody wants that. But there's some people I would like to get it, but nobody wants COVID.
Nobody wants it.
Yeah. So anyways, I just hope that he's enjoyed his time. He has been really good about not talking to me very much. Like we've only texted a few times. So
Well, that's got to be hard for him.
Yep. It probably is. So what's going on? You're in on a Saturday.
I'm in on a Saturday. And
This was your idea.
I'm behind the table.
Yeah. Were you nervous?
No.
I was nervous.
Not with you.
I was nervous last night. I was like, oh man, this is like my whole own show. Am I going to remember how to do all of this?
Especially with the amazing trailer that I put together for you.
I woke up at 3:00 in the morning and was like, what time is it? Should I go to the shop now and start getting ready? And
prepping for today's podcast.
And then I'm a half hour late from what I told everybody. I woke up at 3. That's probably why. So
That's why.
This episode is based off of an Instagram live story that we put up. And my buddy Rob from Inlight always hashtags hashtag WWWD, and it stands for What Would Wade Do?
What would Wade do?
And so
we're finding out right now.
Bryce and I were chatting on, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? And I was like, what are we going to do for the podcast this week? We should do one. And then I said, well, I'll run it. Why don't we do What Would Wade Do? Find out what people. So here we are. So we have 11 people in. We got 20 some questions built.
I think we have the most Instagram questions we've ever got, by the way.
There's quite a few, yeah. And so we'll just get started on that. What'd you do yesterday? You do anything fun?
I edited videos all day for the Ultimate Tech Shop.
Boring.
Yeah. And I found the worldly news. Because we have to do that.
Now we'll do the worldly news.
I'm working on something very, very big, very important. You're going to be very proud. It's the worldly news.
Well, that was almost didn't work.
Almost didn't work.
Almost didn't work.
I don't know why that thing's turned off. It should just stay there.
I think it's because so you don't hit the sound effects.
Yep, not worried about it.
Okay, the first worldly news is poop transplant cures man's drunkenness disease.
What?
So,
a poop transplant?
Yeah. So this guy had a disease called auto-brewery syndrome.
Auto-brewery syndrome.
And it's a rare condition that involves too much bacteria in your gut, and it makes you drunk.
Wow.
Randomly.
Maybe that's what I have.
You're just always drunk.
Maybe I have auto-brewery disease.
I think you just spend too much time at the brewery.
Auto-brewery disease. I'm going with it. I'm going to run with that for a while.
Driving to the brewery.
Yeah.
And so he had a poop transplant. They gave him an enema, and then they put someone else's poop in his intestines.
And then, so that worked.
And it works because it grew new bacteria. And
so how long do you, not how long, how often do you think you have to do this? Would this be a monthly thing he would have to get it? Because if his gut health is off,
yeah,
you don't just get you don't take one enzyme and then all of a sudden have good gut health.
Well, apparently with this you do.
That's good.
He had a recent follow-up after 34 months.
Well, that's really good.
And everything was fine.
Yep. Okay. So if you had to do it once every 3 years, That would be okay.
His 22-year-old daughter donated
Her poop.
her poop.
This is disgusting.
The next one is
Yeah, exactly, Westrom. You're right. What an awful topic for my morning coffee. Anybody else have peanut butter and toast this morning?
factory malfunction causes chocolate rain in Switzerland.
Now that's perfect.
So, the chocolate factory for Lindt in Switzerland,
Lindt.
and Sprengli.
Oh, I'm not the speller guy. That's for sure.
You're the speller guy.
Nope.
That's where you sit. You sit here. You spell things.
Yeah, it's awful.
There was a ventilation system malfunction, which caused chocolate powder to rain all over.
Oh man, that is so good. I would be like, yep, I'd be covered in chocolate. I'd be like, ah!
Oh yeah, but
love
apparently
chocolate.
caused a lot of damage
Sure.
because
I
you
could see
had
that.
cocoa powder all over your car
Everywhere.
and your house and
Yeah.
covered the whole town.
Yeah. Good, but not good.
Good, but not good. Last one. Then we can get to the real content.
Yes.
Are
Content.
you a cat or a dog guy?
Dog guy.
Oh, perfect. The new dating app that will only match you with people who love dogs.
Yeah, that's probably a smart thing.
You think?
Cats are awful.
Nobody likes cats. I feel like if you're a cat person, you don't date anybody. Who needs
you
a
have the
dating
same-
app for cat people?
You have the same personality as the cat. And
Yeah,
you're
you-
just like, meh, I'll do what I want when I want.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in
No, I'm not interested in other people. I'll
on
just
my
get more
terms.
cats.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, definitely a dog person. So
Precision construction.
I know.
They just
Yeah,
Okay.
they're on fire over there. So, the reason I like dogs is they're fiercely loyal,
Yep.
and so if a dog is if you've bonded with a dog, and you are whatever, you're in your house and you die of a heart attack, and you're laying on the ground, the dog will lay with you until someone comes, or eventually they just give up and leave. If you die in a house and you have a cat, it will eat you to survive.
Yes.
And that is it. That's the defining, the cat only looks out for itself and the dog looks out for you.
And so you think the kind of people that get cats are the kind of people that would eat other people to survive?
Stay alive. I don't know that cat people are cats. I know that the reason I like dogs
Right.
is my
So you'd rather date
Max
someone with a dog?
Yeah. And maybe it's because they value loyalty
Yeah.
instead of independence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyways, okay. What do we have? We had a couple of comments. Do we want to actually talk about?
Do you
these
want to
comments?
talk about some of them?
I don't know. Brown Cody joined. That's funny.
What? No hat? Oh, yeah. You're really messing up sitting in that chair.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like we don't have hats.
I thought I would show off the old silver fox.
Salt and pepper.
Awesome topic with my morning coffee. I guess this is kind of related to decks. Yeah.
There's some real deck questions, by the way,
Some
coming up.
Some shitty things going on. Thanks. I'm having McDonald's breakfast. And then Scott's redefines packing your stuff. Brown theme today. Lumberjacks. Happy to see Bryce on the camera. Yeah.
We have 10 people at 8 o'clock in the morning
Okay.
on Saturday without Shane.
What are we doing?
Let's start.
What would Wade do?
What would Wade do?
So the questions in order that I read them, Mike from Simcoe Decks is,
You can use your question button.
well, I have them written down. Do you want me to use this question button because then it takes them away?
Yeah.
Steel. So
Steel part 3.
steel part 3. There's going to be a steel part 3.
Oh, 100%.
At no point in this venture, this business, have I been as excited about trying to get something really going.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when we first started the store, I was pretty pumped to start the store, to get the idea of
To sell decks.
the ultimate deck shop, to have a boutique lumber yard, in
I've
Saskatchewan.
never heard of it being called a boutique lumber yard. I love that.
Yeah, that's essentially it, right?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to put that in Saskatchewan, and I was super excited to do that. And then the other products that come is like, there's new decking, and new decking is great, and new railing is great, but I'm never wound up. I'm not talking to people on the golf course about it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just decking.
Yes. Yeah, it's just decking.
But steel framing has me like triggered.
Oh man, 2-hour podcast could have went 3 last time.
Easy.
And it
Scott
was super
fell
interesting.
asleep.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, Scott.
Okay. So steel part 3, I like that there's some guys that are super pumped about this as well. Kevin from NFDI, Mike from Simcoe, like these guys are pumped, and they're on it. I was at a golf tournament a couple weeks ago. I was visiting with a guy who's at Westman Steel. I was talking to him about how we could manufacture some stuff. I'm talking to contractors around here about using it. So anyways, I'm like, steel part 3 will come. We're going to have to do something with it though.
I think we need to
maybe we'll build one.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we need to show it.
And so Simcoe, you could fly us out, fly Bryce out at least, and then he could record it all for you.
Yeah.
You'd go to Ontario, right?
Yeah. No problem.
Not that scary.
No, I'm not scared.
Okay. So steel part 3 will come. It'll be great.
It'll be super. I think steel decking, even from like my perspective as someone who really hasn't been too knowledgeable about decks until the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Until I've been shoved face first into it.
Yeah. Into a pile of
deck boards.
Right. Deck boards. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting stuff. Yeah. All over the US. Like it. Yep. Live demo. So Simcoe says we should do a live demo. Scott from Precision Construction. Nothing but love, guys. The response is great. I'm talking to guys all over the US now. So that's good. Like, I hope it blows up. It goes crazy. The West Coast later this year.
We're in the middle.
Yeah. You know where we are. You drove here. All right. Then the other one, then Mike Shaheen got into the beers and was asking some questions.
He went like back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah. He had one, two, got interrupted by Rob. Maybe they were drinking together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. So the first one was this one. I think it's really funny. Does it feel like your thumb is there sometimes? So no. No, it doesn't.
You don't have the
when
phantom.
I first cut it off, I had phantom itch.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if maybe not everybody knows this. In 20...
Yeah, we should talk about how you cut it off.
I think in 2013, I cut my thumb off on a table saw. Cut half of my thumb off. Half of my left thumb was removed. I cut the knuckle in half. I was doing a plunge cut with a table saw. I was doing hardwood flooring, and I was cutting a register vent out of a piece of hardwood flooring. And I dropped the board down. The saw blade came through the top of the board, and then the board kicked back. My left thumb was behind the saw blade. The board kicked back. My hand went across the saw. And then it cut my thumb off.
It was like fast.
Yep, fast. It didn't feel like it had been cut off. It felt like it was just cut with a utility knife.
Ugh.
So then I was like, oh boy, that's really bad. I'm probably going to need stitches. And then you have to look at some point, right? You have to be like,
You're like,
absolutely. I was holding it. I'd curled it into the palm of my hand and was holding it and was like, oh boy, that's really bad. That's really, really bad. So then I opened it up and the blood squirted from the end of my thumb. And I was confused. It didn't make sense to me.
you're like, where's the top?
First, it didn't know what happened. It was just like it squirted, and I was like, "That's the strangest thing. Why?" And then it squirted again, and I was like, "Oh, I know. Your thumb's gone. You've cut your thumb off." And so it was like, "That's even worse."
You were by yourself?
No, there's a guy on Instagram that follows us once in a while. He shops in the store. His name is Paul. Paul Builds Things, I think, is his handle on Instagram. He was working for me at the time. It was his third day. I cut my thumb off. I walked into the house and he was doing a kitchen. We were doing a kitchen at the same time. So kitchen and hardwood flooring. So he was working on the cabinets. I was working on the floor. So I walked inside and was like, Paul, I don't want you to panic, but you're going to have to take me to the hospital. I cut my thumb off. It's outside on the driveway. I want you to get like a wet paper towel and wrap it up and then put it on ice, and we'll take it with us and we'll see if we can get it attached.
Your third day job,
Yeah.
picking up Wade's thumb.
I pick up my thumb. It's like out here at the front by the garage door, because it like I cut it and it hit the garage door behind me and stuff. It was
Oh man.
messy. So anyways, I did all this, and then I told him, I was like, I'm going to go sit down in the truck
Yeah.
because I might pass out. And if I do, I want to at least be in the vehicle so you can get me to the hospital. And he was just like, oh my God, I'm going to call the ambulance. And I was like, don't call the ambulance. You're already here. And don't worry about it. It's just a thumb. I'm not bleeding. I've got it like controlled or compressed. I'm not going to die, but we should kind of efficiently get to the hospital because it's off and I want it back on.
Right.
So I like tidy this up and put those tools away. And so then I got into the truck and I sat in the passenger seat of the truck with the window down. And that's when shock started. And I was like sweating.
You're just cold.
Oh man, I was cold. I was cold and sweating, and I thought I was going to puke, and I thought I was going to pass out. We were doing 107 or 114 kilometers an hour down a 50 road. We're flying to the hospital. And I looked over at him and was like, Paul, I do not want to die on the way to the hospital. With
Lose your arm?
Yeah, with like half a thumb cut off. This is not that bad. So we get to the hospital. We go in. I was like white as a sheet. I get onto the whatever table, just like emergency table.
Right.
And they didn't put me under anything. They were just going to sew my thumb up. Anyway, so thumb's on ice, shirt's covered in blood. JJ walks in, was like, hi, I'm here. Like, my husband cut his thumb off. And they're like, oh, he's super pale. He's in that room. So in we go. And she describes it as like a movie out of a horror scene. So I'm like, my shirt's covered in blood, thumb on ice, pale. And I'm
next to you.
Oh, right. So anyways, doctor's like, you cut your knuckle in half. The option is steel rod straight through.
Oh.
And your thumb like is permanently like stiff, permanently forward, whatever, out. You'll never move it. You likely won't get feeling in it.
Will you move it this way?
Yeah. I would have been able to get things, but I wouldn't have
bent.
bent it at the second knuckle, right? So the main knuckle I would have moved. But anyway, so he's telling me about this. I'm panicking. I'm like talking to JJ. I'm like, am I going to be able to play ball again? Am I going to be able to play golf, hockey, like all of these things? What's happened? And she was great. She was just like, calm, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Lots of people miss fingers. You'll figure it out, right? So then the doctor was describing how he was going to fix it. And I was just like, what else is possible? And he's like, well, we could attach it and then possibly you're back here in 4 or 5 days and then we'll cut it off again. And I was like, nope, that's not happening. One time I've cut my
Leave it off.
Yeah. And so I just said to him, I was like, what would you do? And he's like, I'm not actually allowed to advise you. I'm not allowed to tell you what to do because it's your body.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And so, which I respected because it is my body.
Because it's your body.
I'll decide.
That's right. That's right.
So then I said to him, I was like, dude, if I was at your house hanging doors for you or putting your cabinets in, I would have an opinion. I would tell you how I would want that done. Your job is to tell me. And
tell me
what
are my options.
I can't tell you, but what I can say is that if it was my thumb, I would just stitch the end of it and learn how to use it like that. And I was like, good enough for me. Let's get it done. He threw 3 stitches in the end. 1, 2, 3. And
that's it?
That was it. Cut it off at 3:30. I was home at 6:30, stitched up and done.
Wow.
So I had some phantom pains shortly after that. And I also had some itches, like it would itch. But where it would itch is on the inside of the knuckle.
Right.
And I couldn't scratch that because it was gonzo. And so that was strange. I found that I missed a lot of things when I would go to pick them up. I
depth perception.
Yeah, well, I just was so used to reaching a certain distance to grab things, and then that changed, right? So
right. That's so weird.
Yeah. And so there's still 2 things that are really hard for me to do. It's really hard to pick up coins off a table.
I have trouble with that regardless. So.
And it's hard to do up buttons on a shirt. So, because they're small. Like
so get less buttons.
Yeah. So now I have Velcro shirts.
Oh, yeah.
No, I should. So it doesn't feel like I have a thumb anymore. But
they're talking about steel decking.
Still.
Guys. Part 3's coming. It's not here.
Okay. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I know. They're talking about like stocking steel.
Did Carly commit to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right. West Coast later this year. Yeah, the drive out here is a gorgeous drive. We just need a distributor to stock steel framing out here. So Carly, it is stocked in Calgary, so it's not super far from us. We can get it pretty fast. Lone Star Masonry, send us some gear. You know what? We've had some people talk about actually creating some gear and then trying to sell it. I don't know that I love the idea of selling.
Selling what?
Just merch.
Oh, okay.
So here's what I can tell you, Lone Star Masonry. Almost everybody that purchases something from us online gets some sort of swag. Not always, but like make it a good purchase and then you'll see what happens. I don't think stocking steel systems is the way to go. So Simcoe now is ready to run lumberyards. As Scott pointed out, sourcing your own will open up so many more possibilities and actually work out cheaper. And yep, I think he's right. Carly. Oh no.
What'd you do?
What are we doing? This is why I sit on that side of the table.
There you go.
Carly has a point. If retailers did stock some sort of standard length, yep, that's right. I believe there's a.
You got to read the question though, so people on the podcast know what you're saying.
Well, I did, didn't I?
No, you said Carly has a point though, and then
Carly has a point though. If retailers did stock some standard lengths, the convenience would likely help guys switch. And so I agree with Scott on this. I think there's some standard sizes that you should stock. I believe that the Ledger product should likely be stocked. And then if you did just 12s and 16s or something like that, if you did an 18 gauge steel with a Ledger connection, some of the hardware, some like the hangers and stuff, and then 12s and 16s.
Not the systems, just the light gauge?
Just light gauge. Yeah, right? Just put it on the ground and then people will talk about it.
Treat it like lumber.
For a couple reasons. One, as a lumber, you're not in with huge overhead at that point, right? It's a little, there's less product cost on the ground, so you don't have to worry about carrying costs and stuff. I think that if it's actually going to take off like we want it to take off, lumberyards have to have it on the ground.
Oh, it's got to be here. People got to see it and think of it.
Yep.
And it's weather resistant.
Yep. And I also think that stocking it is a good thing, Mike, because when you're in the process of building a deck, if you're 1 or 2 joists short, you don't want to wait a few days. You want to be able to rip in and pick it up. So, because you could rip in and pick up a 2x10. So you also need to be able to pick up this. What's the difference? Can't walk in and get PT anymore. Yeah, I can't get pressure treated anywhere anymore. So don't underestimate the power of familiarity. That is true. If the suppliers don't have it available, it's that the suppliers don't have it available for the retailer. Yeah, it kind of is available. So it's a little bit tricky. And Mike, as of last week, I'm buying steel at 20 to 30% less than KDAT. So kiln dried treated lumber. Where at, Carly? That's it in here. Carly works at the Ultimate Deck Shop in Saskatoon.
A little further north.
We've got our own steel side podcast going. Oh, Simcoe's running a podcast. Carly, look at all this stuff.
Yeah, I know. They just started.
How the heck do you pick ball mark on the how the heck do you pick up a ball mark on the green? Looking forward to finding out. So I use my right hand because I still have my thumb on my right hand. Simcoe's opening a steel store. You guys starting to get Cortex. Oh yeah, you started because of Cortex. He's going to start it because of steel. So there you go. That's it. Simcoe's going to open a store. Call it the Ultimate Steel Store. Mike Shaheen with the thumb. Mike's next question was a really good one. This was a great one.
It was a 6-parter. Oh, not that one. This one.
What is my dream deck? So the top choice: 1 structure, 2 decking, 3 railing. So I've thought about this one quite a bit. I think that if I'm just selling it, I'm just selling it so that somebody else can build it and use it and have all of the enjoyment out of it. I believe that it would be a steel frame. I think I'm fully sold on that.
Regardless of the size, though?
But it's my dream deck.
Oh, it's your dream deck. Sorry.
So he didn't ask about size on there, but I do believe that, like, if I was going to build it for my own house, I guess, is hard to know. But if I'm selling a dream deck to somebody, it's about 600 square feet.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it on my own place, it's probably not quite that big. I don't entertain on my deck as much as you would think.
Owning a deck store.
Yeah, that's right. I would probably do 400 square feet, something like that. It would be an okay size. I think I'm full sold on steel. I believe that I would do that. Right now, today, the deck board I would use is probably the Decorators Voyage line because of the expansion contraction.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of the expansion and contraction. I know that like other boards have great traction, and some other ones like Trex's Transcend line has incredible durability.
The colors on Trex's Transcend line.
It's unbelievable.
They're
right?
crazy.
They're so good.
Yeah.
But just the fact that this one moves less, I think is appealing to me. Because I like miters.
So you want that design functionality.
Yeah, so I'd probably mess with that. I'm not super sold on the multi-widths. I don't love the 3-inch and the 7-inch and all that stuff. I like pretty traditional in the 5.5-inch boards. That's good. But
would you dark slate the border?
yeah, I'd probably even do an inlay of some kind. It depends what color my house was. Right now, I really, really, really like Costa and Kaya. And I think that would go with my house really good. But if I did a house that was grays and steels, then yeah, Tundra and dark slate, I would have a huge accent against that. So that takes care of that. And the railing, boy, I think this is because it's the unknown. But I just watched a story from Stan with Level Home Improvements, and I've been mad crushing on Westbury rail for years. It's not in Canada. I've seen it at lots of shows, and it's just like the distribution for us is a little bit tricky because we could purchase it, but we'd have to buy it like direct from them. Well, we'd have to buy it direct from Westbury, and then what happens is you have to buy such volume of it to make it worthwhile. Yep. And then if you were short like one stair bracket or one post, then you have to order another like $40,000 or $50,000 worth of product to get it here. So having a two-step distributor is unfortunate in the fact that you can't make more money, but it's really convenient in like, so Canwell stocks Century Rail. We can just bomb over there and pick up one rail if we're short of rail.
Need it, yeah.
So there's a trade-off to that, right? The distribution part of it.
Do you think that if you were to purchase some 1 year, make that leap, it'd be the same thing like your theory with steel, that you would getting it on the ground here would just make it take off? I don't think so, because I don't think it's any different. Like, it's not different enough between the other aluminum systems that we have. It's not different enough that people would gravitate,
walk in here and flock to it, right? But I like some of their rail systems that they have. So how the pickets interlock. I like some of their connections. I like the shape of the rail. So 3.5 foot is the perfect cocktail rail from Precision Construction. Yeah. So that's it. I don't know. I also really like composite railing, but it's not strong enough. Every one that I've ever done is like, they're shaky and they creak a bunch. And what about steel? Well, it's like aluminum. Aluminum is kind of steel, right? Yeah, I know. It's just like you don't have to deal with it. So anyways, that was a good one from Mike. Steel framing, Decorators, and then maybe Westbury rail. Back to the questions. They just started talking about steel again. Maybe the one we just built. Yeah. And then a cocktail rail. Precision. The 3.5 inch is perfect for cocktail rail. Oh, and he would be referring to the deck board on that one, right? That's why he would want to use a 3.5 inch, because then when you butt up to the post or you get to the end of a post, you don't have it being wider than the post. So be good. LED light guy. Most LED light guy asked me, what are you most excited about doing that you know Shane would not approve of?
The entire podcast.
He's probably rattled that I was doing the podcast. He might not be. He might be like, oh, that's important for the business. I'm glad Wade's doing this because I certainly don't drive this thing on the daily. This is like Shane's baby.
This is Shane's baby. I mean, his is the only name that's in the intro.
Yeah, I do think that there's value in having this out there. So it's important to keep doing them. Rob, you're asking me to confess to something.
Confess to your crimes before they happen.
Yeah, that my business partner would. I would be most excited to leave work and go golfing. And then, because Shane wouldn't be here. And so I would be able to like sneak away.
You just take off.
But that might just be like that's just like a personal thing. As far as the business goes, if there's something that I would do that Shane wouldn't approve of, I actually don't think there is anything. Like, I think that Shane and I are pretty similarly aligned on our goals. I think there are some things that I want to do with the business, some transitions I want to make and some moves I want to do that he's not ready for. I'm a little more aggressive.
Shane's a little more of a planner from what I know, right? Like he likes things to be...
He's a little more cautious.
Yeah, that's what...
Right? I've always been a little more reckless. And I
mean, you cut your thumb off.
Cut my thumb off. Yeah. I was the one who sort of pushed for the store to happen. It was like, let's do it. Let's go. I'm quitting. Are you quitting? And he was just like, whoa, boy, I don't know. How about you quit first and start the store, and then I'll slow play it out, and then come spring I'll quit.
That's part of the story that Shane never tells. I've heard the story a few times, and he never mentions that you're like, I'm quitting now. Yep.
I was ready. I was done with construction. And so it took both of us to do it. I didn't quit until he was like,
he was on board.
I will quit. I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
But I was the first one that was like, done doing construction. Now I'm in the store.
Do you think it was easier for you because you were kind of in that, like, you already own your own business space?
Yep.
And
I was self-employed. So it was also easy for me to like wrap other jobs up while starting on the store. And so I was working away on the store, and then I could bounce over and, finish casing that one window or that door. It was hard for him because he was at a corporate gig. He had to be there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
Right.
And so you can't just be there from like 9 till 3 and then pop out, do something, go back. You know what I mean? So his was a little trickier that way. But as far as the business goes, I think we're very similarly aligned. I don't think there's anything that I want to do that he wouldn't approve of. We usually chat through it. I think he agrees with the ideas that I have. He's just like, let's just slow your roll, man. Like,
take some time
and get this right. And now that he's taken some holidays, he might be like, well, this is actually really good. Let's just sit in the pocket for a little while and take some more vacations. So, and day drinking.
Oh, yeah. Day drinking. That's one thing I'm surprised we didn't do.
Nope. Somebody asked about that. Corey, my buddy, is here. Hola. Scott in Wisconsin, we don't have cocktail rails. That's because we never put our drinks down. That is my theory on cocktail rails. Quigley?
You need somewhere to put the empties, though.
Yeah, throw them in your neighbor's yard, man. Cocktail rails are for quitters. Yeah, funny. Then Mike Shaheen went into politics.
Oh, yeah. Trying to get Wade fired.
This is a good one. He's not going to fire me up because this is funny. Who wants to see Wade fired up? Trudeau for a third term. I don't think that anybody who knows me has no confusion about how I feel about our Prime Minister.
You don't like him, or you do like him?
I do not like him.
Personally, or?
Yep, personally and politically. I don't like him personally, and I don't like him politically. And I think we could maybe just leave it at that in case there's some people that listen to this podcast.
I don't think you're going to offend anybody.
Yeah, he's just like, I just think he makes some poor decisions. There are some decisions that he makes that are good. I believe that he handled the start of the pandemic really well. I believe that coming out and announcing the CERB and the benefits for people, I think that was well done. I think it was executed properly. But boy, leading up to that, it was a real disaster.
I think that's one thing that might save him going forward.
Well, what about the stuff that's going on right now? Like his finance minister's in trouble. He's like outed for sending millions of dollars to his own family.
Name a prime minister that hasn't screwed up like that and still been reelected.
Yeah. It's just that like people know his name, so he gets.
Yeah, it's true.
Just brand recognition.
That's all it is, right?
But he's got great hair. So that's it. That's all I'm talking about Trudeau for.
Oh, what's next? Another
one from Mike Shaheen. Pro-Built rail matters. So Mike loves Pro-Built rail.
What's Pro-Built rail? For those who don't know.
It's an aluminum railing system similar to Regal or Century, but just manufactured by Pro-Built.
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily love Pro-Built. I think that there are some advantages to it. They absolutely have the stair system figured out. They have a top stair post and a bottom stair post. The railing slides into the post, so it is a much cleaner look. It is a way faster install. They still have the picket system where you have to do pickets and spacers and stuff. Yeah, and so I think the welded panel system is quite a bit better than that.
I think it looks cleaner too.
It looks a little bit cleaner. Pro-Built doesn't have any railing, like they don't have any colors. That's not true. They have a Tudor brown that's pretty good. They have like a rich chocolate brown that other systems don't carry, which I think is good. The truth behind all of this is we started the store and we were looking to add Pro-Built rail. It was one of the very first rails we wanted because we have a couple contractors here that really like it. Joe and Mike love Pro-Built.
Shane's in. What's up, Shane?
Pro-Built is now referred to as Vista. So when we first opened the store, we had two guys that were asking us for it. So we reached out to Pro-Built.
Yeah.
We asked them 3 times if we could purchase their products, and not a single effing person called us back or returned an email.
That's the worst.
So last year, the Pro-Built rep showed up at the store and walked in and was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "Hi, I'm good. How are you?" He handed me a brochure and it was Vista. They had changed their name from Pro-Built to Vista. So he hands me a brochure and I was like, "Oh, Vista Rail." I was like, "You guys finally found us. Hey, you finally figured out that we're on the map." I was like, I took the fact that they wouldn't sell to us in the first year, I took that personally because I thought that they believed we wouldn't succeed. And so for Vista to put their product in this store, it is going to have to be an astonishing deal.
Right.
I'm going to have to make double or triple margin of what I would make on the other rails because those guys, they believed in us. They helped us. Right?
Yeah.
And it was like, sure, we'll sell you Regal. Yeah, we'll sell you Century. Here you go. And then good luck. And we put it in and we sold it and it did well. And Pro-Built didn't do that. And it pissed me off. And so that's a hard way to get back in, right?
I think so.
I'm not saying they can't get back in. They're just going to have to work a lot harder.
It's going to have to be a sweet deal though.
Right? And so that's it. That's what happened with Pro-Built. Yep. If they would have just said yes, I don't know that we would have even stocked it, but if they would have said yes, then I wouldn't have that feeling.
Like right now, you might stock it though, right? Like
sure, I would have.
Down the line now.
Yeah, because our guys wanted it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and their stair system is awesome.
Right.
It's awesome.
Don't cross Wade ever. Moral of the story, don't cross Wade ever.
All right. So let's go back. We'll find out what's going on. My sister, right on cue, Shane popping in. What do we got going on here? Oh, yeah. Shane's crying, laughing, took your shit.
This happens when you do sneak attack podcasts.
So Shane's mad. He took the camera adapters and he was like, "That's what happens when you do a sneak attack podcast." My sister's in, right on cue, Shane popping in. Shane pops into a politic discussion. I could have guessed this is how it was going to go. Vista
You
from
know,
Windsor.
Shane is in the Instagram live, and he's still talking more than both Wade and I.
Holy smokes, there's a big delay on this thing. I can't help that. That's the internet.
Instagram live doesn't want us to put anything out there.
Phone our IT guy. Shane missed the whole steel exchange. Yeah, but he could go back and read about it. Moral of the story, don't cross Wade. Yeah, Steph, there's... it's harder to get back in.
Oh, what's that?
Sure. Shane, I signed an agreement to launch Pro-Built yesterday. Sorry, boys. Yeah. Kev, what's up? Mom's here too. Oh, you got Mom on.
Oh, jeez, everybody's here.
Here we go. Okay, so Pro-Built Rail Lives Matter. Mike Shaheen, he's for sure into the 7th whiskey at this point. If Wade was dimensional lumber, what size would he be? Where are we at with this? If Wade was dimensional lumber, what size would he be? And the Reed man's there. That's my nephew, Reed man.
Yeah, everybody's here. We have 13 people.
My whole family's in there.
This is almost as good as the Paul of France live.
Pretty close. Yeah. Carla, call Dad. Tell him to get on. We'll be up there. Boom. NFD says, I'm a 2x7. Do you have a guess? Do you have an input? I haven't thought about this very much.
I have no idea.
If I was dimensional lumber, what would I be?
Videos. I make videos.
Yeah. I don't know.
Shane's got a guess.
2x8 because he's important to find when you need them. Yeah, exactly. For sure, 2x7. I was going to guess probably a 2x10.
Because you're large and in charge.
And the reasoning behind that is like, I'm just not that common. Like,
oh, yeah.
2x10 is not as common. 2x6, 2x8 is a lot more common. But a 2x10 is like, when it's there, it's there. It's not common, but like, when you need one, it's there, right?
Right,
And it's like heavier, it supports more. It's like, but like, I don't support a lot of people. I'm not the friendliest guy in the world, but the ones that I am friends with are like, I'm friends with them.
I mean, you support a lot. You support a lot of people now. Think about all the people that you have under.
Right. And I'm loyal to them.
Yeah.
But they make me mad, and it's like, not good.
Fall off the deck.
Die. Why?
Die.
Right? Die. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 2x7. I see why he's doing this. For sure, 2x8.
2x7 because of your thumb?
Yeah, 2x7. 2x7, 17. -1 for your thumb. 2x9 it is. So, okay.
So it would be a big, long 2x7.
Yep. That's me. 2x6 rough cedar. Weathered. Great. Smells decent if you scratch him. Oh, yeah. Colin with 2x2 never stays straight. That's right. Not on the straight and narrow very often. That's for sure. All right. Next question. Weathered in gray. Yep.
Thanks, Shane.
She's in there. He's taking shots from the road. Nope. I already did that one. What was the next one? Eric. My buddy Eric from Montreal. This one was good. Bonk. If Deck Expo is going virtual, what should we do instead? I don't know. What I do think is that Deck Expo shouldn't go virtual. It's going to be poorly attended. Nobody's going to watch it. The guys that are launching things are going to, like, they're not going to get the bang for their buck. They need to find a different way to, like, launch new products. And yeah, I just like virtual trade shows that's not the answer.
They don't work. My wife does a bunch of conventions and she hasn't done one this year, but we've watched them all and
it's awful.
No one's there.
Why would you watch that?
I'm just going to sit in front of my camera and show my shit.
Yeah. I don't know. So I don't know what the answer is, Eric. I have no idea what we should do, but I do know that we shouldn't do a virtual Deck Expo.
It's better not to.
Yeah. And just be like, we're taking the year off.
Yeah. Come back next year with some even cooler stuff.
Yep. So I don't know. Maybe go to Hawaii. Hawaii's got a thing going on now. So you can go to Hawaii on vacation, right? You have to take a COVID test. And as long as it was 72 hours before you landed, you can enter Hawaii with a clean COVID test.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Hawaii this winter. I will absolutely do that. I can't not go away in the winter.
Oh, you need to go somewhere?
Have to, because winter's awful here. It's long and cold and brutal.
It's brutal.
And if it's anything like last winter, that might be the last one I ever spend in this province. Man, last
Wasn't
winter
that bad?
Yes, it was.
You didn't.
January.
I worked outside for years.
January and February was awful.
They were cold.
Awful. It was minus 40 from January 5th until February 28th. The whole time. Worst months ever.
Also, oddly enough, probably the worst place to start a boutique deck store.
Yeah. And I think it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm aging and getting grumpier.
Oh, yeah.
It's always been this awful.
Do your knees hurt more?
Yes. And my back.
Because of the cold?
Yeah, my thumb.
You realize you hit a certain age when you start talking about your
joints are cold.
Oh, I think it's getting cold out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Colin wins. No, Shane wins. Weathered and gray. Shane wins the comment about what type of wood I am. Shane says Colin wins because I'm not straight 2x2. Precision Deck says we solved this problem yesterday. Top secret coming soon. Let's hope.
Virtual trade show. Shane says virtual trade shows are the speechless radio.
Yeah, exactly. It's brutal. Sit on your deck in your parka. Yeah, Colin True Builder says I should just sit on my deck in my parka. No dice.
So I was in Moose Jaw the other day, and they were having one of their amateur baseball things going on.
Yeah.
And everybody, they weren't allowing people to sit in the stands. So everybody just parked their trucks around the fence and built small decks up with chairs so they could watch into the field and stay apart.
Wow.
I thought it was really interesting.
Intuitive, right? Yep.
Deck parade.
A virtual deck parade coming right up. This is the last one from Mike Shahini. Must have fallen asleep right after this. I should have checked the timestamp on these messages.
He was they were so close together.
Wade leaves Saskatoon traveling 120 kilometers an hour with 54 Trex clamshell boards on. What time? Where did we go? What time does he arrive in Regina? Trick question. No one knows because Wade is never on time. And that's exactly true. I don't know what the right.
We're going to have to restart the podcast.
Oh, damn.
We missed it. Restarting.
We're going to restart. Where do I go?
Just hit delete.
Delete the video. Delete that video. This way.
Live.
This way.
And we're back.
Okay. I don't know what the description is. I don't know how I would describe how I'm so late all the time, but I am constantly, notoriously, I am always late. Always.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, you were late today.
Late for this. I'm late for this. I'm late for golf. I'm late for things that are important. I'm late for things that are not important. I go to the dentist late.
Is that a scheduling thing?
I don't know. I've had lots of people tell me that it's people that are often late for things is because they're always trying to fit more stuff in than they can, right? And they're they have unrealistic expectations about what they can get done and what, and so they're just constantly trying to do more than they should. And it should just be it's this time now. It's okay to have 5 minutes of downtime because then you'll be early at the other thing. So don't start a new thing that you think will take 5 minutes, turns out takes 20, and then you're late. And you're 15 minutes late for something, right? So that's what I do. I am always trying to squeeze in the very last thing, and then I end up being late for stuff.
Yeah.
Like today, I woke up, showered, was ready to go, and was it was 20 to 7, or 20 to 8, sorry. And the podcast supposed to start at 8, takes me 10 to 15 minutes to drive here. I was like, I should leave right now. Then I would be there early.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, but I don't have coffee. I should make coffee. So then I make coffee. Well, that took 10 minutes to run through the thing. And then I drove here and I was late. Now, like, there we are, late for the podcast. Because I tried to make coffee. I should have just left. But I wanted the coffee. Anyways, always late.
So
always late.
Yeah. So you wouldn't make it to Regina.
I
The math question.
I wouldn't make it to Regina. I'd be stuck in Davidson golfing. Then, okay, did anybody? No more.
Everybody's in.
Yeah, Sean Stefan. So, Steph, somebody lied to me about a tee time the other day. They told me my tee time was at 12:20, and I showed up at the course at 12:17. Walked up to the tee box, set my clubs down on the tee box, pulled the ball out, and was like, "Okay, let's go." And they're like, "Oh no, the tee time's actually 12:50, but you're here when you're supposed to be." I was pissed.
So the first time you show up on time.
I was still on time for golf.
That's what I mean, though. They told you 12:20.
They gave me a 30-minute window.
Because you were going to be late.
They know I'm late all the time.
That's what you need to do, is you need to start.
Habitually. Absolutely, Aiden. I am habitually late. That is exactly correct. So, yeah, God bless that person. Now Sean's going to do that, but I can get in and check that tee sheet. So,
Questions?
Another question. Oh, because I restarted, all of these things have been.
Do you think?
Yeah, look at them. They're all open again.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Sherwood Park asked a question. This is when he got fired up and started shooting them off. This question, does Shane know that you're doing this? He does now. He didn't.
He didn't even know last night.
Yeah.
I feel like he would have said something.
Yep. Bahaha.
Gotcha. Yeah, and because that he didn't know we were doing this, we didn't have all the equipment because Shane stole it.
Yeah. But that's okay. We're making do. We taped it to the stuff. Taped it to the stand. All right. This is a good one. Are sales up or down with Wade at the helm? They're down.
They're down?
Yep.
How down?
Not very much. I don't blame myself because if we recall, I was the one in the store for the first 2 years.
When they were up.
Pretty good at sales.
Yep.
I'm like a pretty good sales guy. It's one of my stronger things is actually like selling. Not showing up on time. That's not a strong suit of mine.
But once you're here.
Once I'm here though, woo! I get the wheels turning. Things are going. What I can tell you for sure, Colin, is that I don't watch the numbers as far as like what sales are doing near as much as Shane. He could tell you where we were at, and I couldn't tell you that because I don't watch that. I watch like the customers that come in, and I interact with the employees a lot more, and I make sure that stuff is all like flowing properly.
Right.
I always have a pretty good sense of how sales are going or are not going based on customer flow
just
and
like
traffic.
A feeling.
Yep, just a feeling, right? I don't watch the numbers as much as Shane does.
So is it you just feel that it's slow?
It is slow.
It is slow?
Yep. Like
it's August.
It's August. Everybody's on holidays.
Yep.
Shane hasn't taken a holiday in 4 years, and even he's on holidays.
It's a good time. I mean, everybody should be shut down in August.
Yes. Not shut down, but like,
you know what I mean?
You expect it to be slower. That's for sure. I absolutely expect it to be slower at this time of year. So he's gone. I'm gone next week. And then when September happens, then everybody comes back and it starts again.
Yeah.
And so that's okay. We've gone through this forever. I also was talking to Shane yesterday, and when we were texting back and forth, we had said the whole year is a month off. Like usually it's a little bit slower in kind of end of July, early August. But the season has been a month off.
Right.
And it's just like it started a month later, and then May and June went like crazy, but July was crazy as well. And July's never crazy. So now August is slow. It's like, okay, well, maybe August will be slow, and maybe September will be kind of slow too. And then depending on when the snowfall is, it gets a little risky. You don't want September to be slow because there's always possibility of snowfall in October, right?
Period. Yeah.
You need a long fall in this industry. So hopefully September picks up a little bit and then October is strong again. If we get any time in November, that's a bonus. So, sales are down, but I don't blame myself. Shocking.
Do you think the hot weather is gonna, like this last week has been boiling in Regina?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
30. So what was it? We had like an average temperature of 34 or 35 degrees this last week. So it's like 100 Fahrenheit?
About that, yeah.
Blah.
Do you think that's gonna like preamble people, like get them pumped up, being like, "Oh man, it was so hot. I wish I could have been outside."
Nope. I think when it gets that hot, people are just done. They're just like, I want a pool and I want an air conditioner. So I don't think people think, yeah, I wish I was laying on a deck. It's like, I wish I was in the shade. You could sell more pergolas when it's that hot out.
Need those Toya grids.
Holy man. It was bad. Brutal. All right.
Comments.
We got a couple. What do we got for comments up here? God bless that person. Duly noted on the timing. Yeah, you bet. Make sure you do that. I tried to enter some questions, but then saw Mike's replies and was like, it's already going to be a shit show. I'll leave this alone. Fair enough. Why does that happen? Boonk.
Come on. You can do it, Wade.
Precision Construction at Shane. The shit show comment was dead on. Thanks for the worldly news segment. That's Bryce's. Yeah, the worldly news was bad. Bad.
Yeah, it started it off.
Aiden Construction, he says it's same there. It's slowed right down. Plus there's a bunch of fires out on the West Coast. Yeah, no kidding. Eric, that is your normal summer weather, the 34, 35.
That's that in Quebec?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Just outside of Montreal.
That's too much.
It's way too hot.
I hate the heat. Well, I don't hate the heat. I just dislike.
I talked
when
to
it's
people
that
about
hot.
this yesterday, and it was like, I actually think I prefer minus 40 over plus 40. And so as much as I hate cold, I talk about this, right? Mm-hmm. I think that you can dress for, excuse me. I think you can
100%.
dress for minus 40. It's hard to dress for the wind. When it's minus 40 and windy, you can't dress for that. It's like you just die. But if it's just the temperature is minus 40, you can put on lots of layers and you can be warm. You can still dress for that.
Yep.
Plus 40, you can't take enough clothes off.
No.
I have a built-in fat layer under my skin, and that's awful. I can't get rid of that.
You need a pool.
I need a pool.
100-degree weeks plus fires.
Yeah, that's right. Not good.
Gross.
Okay. And then Colin from Windsor Plywood. Where's the wood? I watched your stories. It's in your yard. I know exactly where the wood is. I can't get any treated lumber because Windsor Plywood's rolling semi-loads of treated lumber into their yard. Did you see this? Did you watch it? Yeah. So pump the brakes there, big shoots. I know exactly where the lumber is. It's in Edmonton, not here.
Just going to have to do like a covert.
Trex from Rob Trex.
Yeah.
Is downstairs. He's here.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He came to talk to me.
Oh,
now
well.
he's in here.
We only have a few more questions to go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. This is taking way longer than I thought it was going to.
58 minutes.
M Dizzle. Where is he at? Right here. M Dizzle 720. What is the best method to create a safe, clean, maintenance-free zone when building a low raised deck? I've read this question 6 or 7 times. And I don't understand it.
Safe, clean, maintenance-free zone. So, like, you have a low deck, and you don't want to clean under it.
You think so? Okay. So
what do you
put some
do?
paper, put some landscaping fabric down, and then put crusher dust or rock on top of that, and then build your deck, and it'll be a nice, clean, free area under there.
Yeah. Why?
So I don't know.
That's a weird question.
I don't understand this, and it maybe if you comment in this M Dizzle, if you send us a message, I'll reply to it with some more elaboration. At first, I read it like, how do you create a nice, clean, low deck? And it's like, well, just do it as one tier. If you make multiple tiers, the stairs are in the way and you burn up valuable square footage. So just make a low deck that's all one tier. And if you want it to feel like multiple rooms, use the deck boards to do that, right? Change the shape and space by putting breaker boards in and stuff. Then I thought, well, no, maybe they're talking about when you're building the deck, how do you create a safe, clean work zone? It's like, oh, well, that's probably pretty easy. Just like get in the habit of picking your tools up when you're done with your tool. Some people, Shane, are awful at this. They use a tool, and as soon as they're done with it, it's like boonk, on the ground right beside them. And that is immediately the worst way to do things. It's awful. Because then when I go to use that tool, I don't know where it is. He doesn't know where it is. It's not in the spot. It needs to be in the spot, which is either in your pouch or in the trailer on the shelf or blah, blah, blah. So I thought, how do you do that? Well, you have a safe, clean work area by doing that. But then the maintenance free thing got me and was like, no, you just do composite. So 2x6 framing over top of crusher dust, one level, not many stairs. Use a good composite with a 25-year fade and stain warranty at least, so you can pressure wash it off.
Don't worry about like concrete pavers or anything like that.
Yeah, Sean Steffen might be watching this, so pavers are the devil.
Pavers are the devil.
Deck everything. Don't buy any stones.
Stay away from stone.
Yeah, here's what I know. If you drop a glass on a paver patio, you likely don't have that glass again. It's broken. If you drop that thing on a deck, there's a chance it survives.
Yep.
It's not a good one, but it's better than if it lands on concrete. So pavers are the devil.
Shane's snapping back here. Shane says, I like to leave my tools exactly where I stopped using them. Sometimes still engaged in the screw I was driving even.
Yes, this happens. It's pretty comical, actually. Yeah, so here we are. Trex Westcan is commenting on there. He's watching from our showroom, which I did know. Fraser texted me and was like, Rob from Trex is here. Not every customer, but sure there's some. Answer to that is pavers. Yeah, well, I just went over that, why you wouldn't do that. Clean looking, safe, add rails. Yeah, you can add some rails to it, right? Like, that's always a good. Rails are a little bit safe. Shane does leave his tools everywhere.
Shane does leave his. You're going to end that with Shane leaves his tools everywhere.
Shane leaves his tools everywhere. Asdash, friend of the show. He comments quite a bit on our stuff. He's hanging AZEK fascia up to decking. Will there problems later because of trapped moisture? So he's hanging fascia up to decking. So the way I read that is the decking overhangs the frame by 1.5 inches and the fascia slides up underneath that. I think that is the proper watershed way. Like, I think that's the proper way to do that for watershed. I doubt there will be any moisture issues on your rim joist between your fascia and your rim joist. I think that should be fine. Some people will run their fascia up flush with the surface of the decking, cut the decking flush with the framing, and then run the fascia up beside it, as our table is.
Like this table.
The way the table's done.
Yeah.
So I think if you do it like this, then you possibly run into some moisture issues. You should likely put a little bit of extra like water protection on your outside rim joist. Overlap.
Okay.
Just think of like water pouring down a waterfall. Just overlap it. It should be fine like that. Moisture in your trap. Shane says, moisture in your trap is the worst. You're right. And when it's 35 out, there's lots of moisture in your trap. Scott from Precision says, leave the track saw still on the line, Shane.
We
that happens.
We made it 1 hour and 4 minutes before track saws were mentioned.
Track saw! Yep, he has. He has absolutely cut a line and walked away from it with the track saw still on there. I can say that for sure. TC Dex. Should I embrace my silver fox beard or dye it?
That's an easy question, isn't it?
Right? Dye it. No, absolutely do not dye it.
Salt and pepper. That's the thing. Everybody loves salt and pepper.
Drives the ladies crazy.
That's right.
Right? Salt and pepper is the way to go. I think, had I known how much better I would look with salt and pepper hair, I would have started dyeing my hair gray at 17.
Did you used to dye your hair?
No.
No, you never dyed it.
I have dyed my hair blonde.
M&M frosted tips.
When I played hockey, I used to dye my hair. But I have never dyed my hair black. I started going gray pretty early. I was in my mid-20s, I think, when I first started going gray. And I, at that point, was like, I am not interested in spending the rest of my life dealing with this. Mm-hmm. I just like, gray is whatever. It's natural. I don't care. I'm going to grow it. And so I did.
Makes you look wise.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yep. So here we are. I have gray hair.
So you're late for everything, but early on the gray.
I was pretty early on going gray. Yep. And then this is the last question. It wasn't in the comments or anything, but Sherwood Park asked, what's the wood shortage in Saskatchewan? It's just all of it. It's nationwide. I actually think it's international. I believe that the U.S. is short on treated lumber. It's like, we're just short on everything. It'd be nice to have a little more inventory. We are getting some stuff slowly. It's kind of trickling in. So we're able to, kind of keep turning. But if I was able to walk out there and pick our inventory level, I would change it. It would be a little bit, I'd have more product on the ground.
More product.
Just a little bit. I don't know that we're losing a bunch of jobs because of it right now. But we're certainly losing some. I've had some people walk in and just be like, sorry, I need that now. And so I'm leaving. And then they do. And then they post a picture on Instagram and it's like, here's my deck I built. And it's like, God damn, that's like,
right.
I wish
that's too bad.
Yep. So deck boards are killing us. So
I see your family's chiming in about your frosted tips.
Finally. Yeah. Well, I came clean on that.
Was it blonde? Was it all blonde or just frosted tips?
My mom and my sister were like, dude, Mom and I are here. We both know the truth. # frosted tips. And I absolutely did do frosted tips. When I played hockey, I dyed my hair blonde. And then there was a stretch in high school where I had frosted tips. My sister and I'd put a skull cap on and she would like spear my head. Do you remember those things?
I remember those things. Yeah.
And they're like little hook and loop thing and you jab it in. And it's like, if we were fighting, she was a little more aggressive. I'd like get cuts in my scalp.
You redid it a few times.
That was how she got even with me. It's not a shortage on lumber. Shane says it's not a shortage on lumber. The forests are still there. They are still there. Kevin from NFDI did frosted tips. Colin True Builders says there's a shortage on lumberjacks.
That's probably true.
Yep. It's likely not wrong. And then Shane says, remember when us and our frosted tips started our band called B44? Those were the days.
B44. That's a throwback band. Canadian band. They're Canadian.
Were they?
Yeah.
I don't know who B44 is.
Oh, they sung this really weird song that somehow got on young children's television shows.
Oh, yeah.
About going down on each other.
No.
Yeah. If you get down on me, I'll get down on you.
Holy smokes. Yep. That was not us. I did not do that.
No.
Okay. That's it. An hour and 10 minutes. It provides basically no value, some insight into my life. Do you have anything? Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions or
any
burning
questions?
We got way more questions than I was expecting.
Me too.
I was just like, well, I don't need to. It's for the fans. See?
Okay. Lots of these guys actually know who B44 was, right?
I'm surprised with your frosted tips.
Before the street lights go out. Yeah. Trex from West Canada. Did you ever perm the back like a real man? I never permed my hair that I can recall. I know that I had some friends that did it. I may have curled it a little bit because my sister probably had curlers and I was maybe interested in it, but my hair is naturally curly. So I never had to do that. It was like, if I let it go long enough, it curls.
The hockey hair.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have to. Like, it came out of the ear holes in the helmet and off the back and it curled all by itself. Yeah. So I didn't have to perm it.
I love how Rob from Trex is asking you questions, even though he's waiting downstairs.
Yep. Yeah.
Keep doing the podcast.
Vinyl guys. Wade and Bryce, best podcast ever. This is fun being on this. Effing painful to watch, but enjoyable. And then Kev It's like, what's up, vinyl guys? So these guys are now going to just start chatting.
That's a wrap.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
An hour and 10 minutes. That's pretty good. I don't know that I would do this all the time by myself.
We could get better. It's the Wade and Bryce show.
Hopefully Shane takes some more vacations and we'll actually really get after this.
We'll get like 3 or 4 in the...
Yeah.
We'll do one a day for a week.
Ooh. In the wintertime. Okay. Well, should we wrap this up? Do I start it low?
You start it low.
Start it low, push the button, and then
see you next week.
We're going to wrap this up. Thanks, guys.
You've been listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Ultimate Deck Podcast. Brought to you by the Ultimate Deck Shop. Shop with us at www.ultimatedeckshop.com or check us out at all the social networks we can keep up with. Hit us up for any collaboration or sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.